Welcome back to another episode of Crystal Hook Fishing. We just got to the Florida Keys again, back with the crapper, or the Action Craft, the boat, and we're gonna go launch. We just drove down 7 hours and look for some weed lines, for some mahi, maybe dive some wrecks and reefs. Just gotta see what's good, see what's clear. See out there. It's pretty rough out. It was a wet ride out, but we're gonna dive at our first spot. It's gonna be great. Welcome back underwater, everybody. So we said we were going off to blue water. That didn't happen because of how rough it was, but the water was still really clear inshore. So I'm diving a ledge here in like 25, 30 foot of water, maybe even less. It's hard to tell when it's this clear. And we're looking for black grouper, mutton snapper, red grouper, mangroves, anything good. So there's this big crack in a ledge that I saw from the surface, and I thought it could be good. And so I start heading back in there into the little dark places. There's tons of these yellow grunt and some red squirrelfish all over these ledges, which is really cool. But this ledge didn't really have any like deeper spaces back there where a grouper would like to sit. So I start to pull back out of the ledge after realizing that. And as I'm pulling out, I kind of hit my head on the top of the ledge and make some scratching sounds, unintentionally trying to get out. And as soon as I get out, lo and behold, there's a grouper just sitting right there, nice black, and he flicks as soon as I see him. And I try to line up and take a shot, but I miss. I don't think I actually miss though. If you look at the slow motion, the spear is bending as it leaves the gun. I think it was because I was using a spring steel shaft, which allowed it to bend as it left the gun, which caused it to ricochet off of the fish. So at this point I was like, okay, I need to change the spring steel shaft, but I did a couple more dives after that. So I just looking at some holes, figure that if I can hit a fish in a hole point blank, it won't bend like that, and I won't miss fish. And then I see a nice hogfish at the hole. Now for Tampa, that hogfish is pretty nice. It's like well above legal, but in the Keys it was barely legal. It was like 16 inches, and I was lucky I was able to actually keep that fish. But it was a pretty hogfish. And so this next dive makes me regret not immediately changing the spring steel shaft, because I'm still thinking that I need to change it. I know I need to change it, but I haven't yet. So I start the dive off like I started all the other ones, looking in the ledge for grouper. I don't really find anything, because it seems to me that the grouper were sitting on the outside of the ledges, which we kind of observe more throughout this trip, right? So after looking, I look out to the edge of the reef, because that's where all the mutton will come from, and I see this big snapper. Now, I don't know if it's a big cubera or a mutton, but the same thing happened. And so I reloaded, and I went down to look for it, and I couldn't find it, obviously. But when I did go down, I saw this really nice mangrove, and I just ducked and shot and missed. So I reload again after missing, right? And all this happens in literally in the span of probably a minute. I reload again, and I go down after missing the first time, and I make sure I'm gonna hit it this time. I load the power band all the way back. I don't load the roller, but I just am a little more patient with it. I get all the way up, and I plug it. And this is a really nice mangrove. This was 18, 19 inch mangrove. I think it was a very nice fish. Another one for the box. After that, we go to dive a pretty deep wreck in 120 feet. It's kind of foreign to me. I'm really excited about loading that gun because I actually made it. It took me 8 months to make completely from scratch on mahogany, a nice double roller. So I dive down on the wreck. We're sitting right above it. The top of that tower is in about 80 to 90 feet, and we're trying to shoot the yellowjacks and yellowtails that are off of that tower. And I thought I saw one here, and I tried to line up on it, and I missed, which is fine. So I come back down, and this is a big, nice school of amberjack, which had me really, really excited. And so I got a little trigger happy. I should have followed them for a little longer, but I spooked them, and then I just completely whiffed. And that was pretty much our whole blue water experience for the day. After this, we go back into shallower water. Here I just get on a new spot and I see a red grouper spook and I whiff, which kind of sucks. I miss a lot of fish on this trip. Okay, so from here out, the footage is corrupted in this video, but this is also all the cool fish. I see where that grouper went and I follow it, and it goes into this hole. So I creep up to it and it's literally just like staring at me, and I just stone it straight up. Just like not moving, brained. And I pull him out, and you can see him real good here, and it was just really cool. Little shot, first red grouper secured. Then I come back to the spot where I first saw the big cubera and the black grouper, and I see this little mangrove. I take a really long shot and nail him, which is another cool little sequence there. Love shooting mangroves, really good tasting fish. Another one in the box. This dive is one of the coolest, most unique fish of the trip. I'm hovering above the big ledge and I dive in because I know right below me is a very big hole, right? And my camera is getting real wonky at this point, but this footage is definitely worth including. So as I start looking into the back here, I see like a big shadow, but I can't fully make it out. But I get my gun ready because I know I'm gonna hit it, and it moves into the back. I get a good shot on it, and boom. And immediately I know it's not just like a normal snapper. It's huge. It's pulling line out of my gun. I'm freaking out. I'm trying to pull it away from the edges and into the central part of the cavity so it doesn't get me caught up. And then I can just see it clearly with my light, and I realize what it is. It's a big cubera. And I'm freaking out. I know it's dead because I shot it in the cheek. It can't really get off, so I untangle myself and get back to the surface. And I'm freaking out, so that I can go down and grab it.
Cubera! Cubera stopper! Holy
Unfortunately, my GoPro stops working after this, so all we really have is these pictures. But as you can see, it was one of the coolest, biggest fish of the trip, even bigger than the grouper. Had some great tasting meat, and it was just, all in all, just like a really fun day of spearfishing. Hope you enjoyed.